Hello there. Today we're going to discuss the 3 signs that your twin flame is sending you love. They're thinking about you. They're probably going to reach out pretty soon. And here's what's interesting about these signs. You'll notice they're not coming from the outside world. They're all in here. Now, what does everybody say about twin flames? And I mean everybody. Well, what everybody says about twin flames, what everybody agrees on about this phenomenon is that it's one soul in 2 bodies, right? So no matter what they're telling you to do, healing, the mirror exercise, aligning your chakras, I don't know, whatever, right? Talk it out with them, right? There's a million different ideas about what you're supposed to do. Regardless of what they tell you though, anybody, what everybody is going to tell you is that twin flames are one soul in 2 bodies. That's like why the term twin flame was invented in the first place, right? Side note, don't you think it's kind of weird that everybody agrees what a twin flame is, but then there's a million different ideas about what you're supposed to do? I'm just saying, guys. Well, you're going to get a lot of answers today, guys. So let's do the signs. I'm going to go through them. I'm just going to list them off, and then I'll talk about each one of these signs, and I'll even kind of tell you, like why, like how you can tell these are the real signs, and maybe what you can do about it too, right? Okay, so sign number 1 is they're going to reach out. And what I mean by that is it's not mental. You're not thinking that they're going to reach out to you. One day, you're like going about your day and you have this weird, eerie knowing that you're going to hear from them, or that you're going to be together, or that you are twin flames or something like that. Right, it's called intuition. Okay, so that's the first sign. Number 2, something called satori, which is this experience of unity with all, or this divine inner peace. Okay, that's called satori. And I'll describe that, of course. Number 3, you're focusing more on your awakening and not really so much on them, right? So this is your spiritual awakening. This is a spontaneous spiritual awakening, which means you don't choose it, it chooses you. Isn't that nice? And guys, for many of you watching, that may seem like you might not realize it right now. What I'm about to say might seem strange to say because you could be in a lot of pain and suffering, but I promise this is the best thing that's ever happened to you guys. Your twin flame is your soul, and your soul is trying to awaken you using another incarnation of itself, right? So like reincarnation. You see this book? We already know about this stuff. We know exactly what twin flames are, guys. At least I do. I've coached over 7,000 twin flame students. I have. So I like to call it simultaneous incarnations, SI, right? Your twin flame is your other self, right? So this is real, guys. You might be feeling a little crazy right now, but you're not. If you met this person, this is a real thing, guys. You met another incarnation of your very soul. It's technically your twin flame. What seems to be going on is they're one of your past lives. This is something I kind of talk about all the time. If you want to see more, go check out my Twin Flame Science playlist on this YouTube channel. There's a playlist called Twin Flame Science. Go check that out. Your twin flame, potentially one of your past lives, guys. And understanding that actually will help you to shut down the running and chasing with your twin flame. So let's talk more deeply about these signs. There's this knowing. I know we're going to be together, right? So let's talk about like what that feels like first so that we're all clear. So when I teach intuition, because that's what it is, when I teach intuition to people, I always start with the example of deja vu. And the reason for that is because deja vu is a form of intuition, and intuition and deja vu feel the same, but the information is different for each one of those. So with deja vu, it's this weird, eerie knowing that you've been here before, okay? With intuition, it's this weird, eerie knowing of some other information, something about the future, something about another person, or something maybe that's true for you, right? But what those two things have in common is the weird, eerie knowing. It has this certain characteristic of feel to it. So if you've had this knowing that your twin flame is thinking about you, or you guys are going to be together, or whatever it is, you can trust that. And you're going to know that it's genuine intuition because it feels like deja vu. It's not emotional. It's not mental. You notice, like when you have deja vu, you're sitting there thinking about it. Like, how do I know I've done this before? Did I have a dream last night? Did I do this last week, right? So the mind is thinking about the knowing. So there's two things going on. Remember, you are body, mind, soul, right? Okay. So the mind is thinking, the soul is where the knowing is coming from. And again, there are two distinct things going on. There's the knowing, the intuition, and there's thinking about the knowing. Why? Because they're coming from two places. And by the way, you want to know who you really are? Because you think you're thinking about the intuition, the knowing. That's not really you. It's the illusion of self. I'll explain that in a second. The actual you is the knowing. That's the soul, guys. It's beyond mental forms of thought. Okay? Remember, body, mind, soul. So that's what intuition is. The soul can see around corners that you can't see around. And by the way, you and your twin flame are the same soul. Of course you're getting information about them. Of course you are. Now, if you want to know what I meant when I said that the thinking isn't you, it's not really you who is thinking, I'm going to give you two quick resources. Pause the video, grab a pen, write this down, right? The first one is this book, The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, recognized as essentially the modern day Buddha, more or less, right? One of the great spiritual masters. Read this book. There's also a movie on YouTube called Samadhi, S-A-M-A-D-H-I, Samadhi. There's 3 parts. Make sure you watch part 1 first. Don't skip around, right? I don't know why you would, but some people do. It's called Samadhi. Part 1, Maya, the illusion of self. So we believe that we are this mental person, this personality. And that's exactly what Eckhart Tolle talks about in this book, how that's actually not you. Because if you think about it, before you ever had a personality, like when you were a baby, because the personality forms right around the age of 7 or 8. Well, what was there before that? Think about it. Right, it's this consciousness. And that's where that knowing is coming from. So check out that movie, Samadhi, read that book. Okay, sign number 2, again, Satori. This should be a little bit easier for you to understand now that we've talked a lot about the intuition, the knowing, because when you experience Satori, it feels a lot like that. It's beyond mind. It's not something that is being thought about. It's not thinking, but it's just this intense sense of inner peace. And it's like all thinking ceases temporarily. It's like the mind just melts away for a while. And you're left feeling this incredible sense of peace. You may also experience this sensation of unity, which is where the word union really came from, by the way. I made a video about that. Down below in the description box, down below, there's a video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. So I explain where those words really came from. Those aren't relationship statuses with your twin flame, you guys. That's not what those words are. So go check that video out down below too. But you may experience this like oneness with everything, this experience of unity, or they call it union in spiritual circles. That's where that word really came from, guys. Twin flames are misusing that word. It's not a relationship status, okay? It's this higher state of consciousness. So go check out my playlists on my YouTube channel. Go watch that video down below. Okay, so that's Satori. Sign number 3, simple enough. You're not really focused on them. You're all in here. You're with the knowing. You're experiencing that, okay? You're not, and it's not that it's not, oh, I got to stop focusing on them and focus on myself. Well, that's closer, but it's more like you're not focusing on them. You're experiencing yourself as this internal focus. You're not looking out there for anything. And that's right when they're going to come screaming back into your life. Your twin flame is your soul, you guys. This is spiritual, not emotional or mental. It's this intense peace, and it feels amazing. And that's, again, that's right around the time that your twin flame is going to come right back into your life. You guys, check out my free resources. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.